Hey everybody, I'm Vincent Lewis with Partners MGU, welcoming you to another edition of the Partners Podcast. In part 3 of our 4-part discussion with Adam Russo of the Phia Group, we continue our dialogue on a variety of subjects related to the self-funded industry. For those of you who are involved in reference-based pricing plans, you'll definitely want to tune in for this one. On this segment, we're addressing the hot-button topic of surprise billing and reference-based pricing and its impact. I recently had a producer reach out to me in a huge dilemma. The reference-based pricing program he had just put in place for his client this past January now had to convert back to a conventional PPO program just a few months in. Why, you ask? Because the employer was tired of employees complaining of balanced billing from the local provider or requesting cash payment up front before beginning treatment. At best, this creates a morale issue for employees, but I've seen these situations play out in the media as a public relations nightmare. Balanced billing has been the thorn in the side of self-funded employers and their consultants who work for them. It's always been my opinion that reference-based pricing, or RBP, is really the first iteration of where our industry should be headed, and that is to a form eventually of direct negotiation on hospital bills. As Adam says, it's really just a different way to pay a claim. But negotiation proves difficult when there's never a level playing field. According to Adam, while Medicare pricing is considered the benchmark or reference point in RBP, most hospitals don't even take Medicare rates into consideration at all when determining payment. Surprise? And while Adam speaks of the challenges surrounding the topic, there's also, however, opportunity, especially with the new healthcare transparency rules in play. The question, however, is can the healthcare industry ever provide care for patients that is consonant with the price they charge? My colleague Bill Hoyt recently did a LinkedIn segment using the analogy of buying jewelry at a discount, but not knowing if the price was actually marked up to start with. And then you have the whole quality of care issue. It's the only industry I know of in which you get treatment, but you don't get something, a service, but you don't even know what you're getting until the price comes. It's enough to make your head spin. To listen to our full conversation, please click on the link in the description. And please let us know your thoughts and comments around the segment. We also hope you check in next week for our final episode in this series, The Impact of the American Rescue Plan Act. We hope you enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's enough in and of itself. I mean, so let's stay on the COVID track for a minute, because I mean, there's a lot of stuff to unbundle from that. I mean, not only that, but you got other issues. You got the whole thing with surprise billing that's going on.
Dude, I mean, you and I could talk about surprise billing for 5 hours, man.
Right.
I mean,
right.
I'm being straight up. I mean, with surprise billing, all right, as an example, and I hope you don't mind that we're going like this way.
No, please, let's do it, man. No, for sure.
But surprise billing, reference-based pricing plans are freaked out. A lot of people are freaked out. They're thinking, is it the end of reference-based pricing? I look at it the opposite way. I think this is a huge opportunity for people, because now, again, the definition of what a surprise bill is, people still don't understand. It's a surprise. Like, that's the point.
Right.
So at the end of the day, a lot of the things that we have been dealing with and seeing across our industry when it comes to balance billing, et cetera, that's still going to continue. Right. It's only not going to continue when it's a actual surprise. So if you're doing reference-based pricing, we're noticing more and more vendors out there, more and more RBP plans, direct contracting, right? Mm-hmm. Making deals. Right. And I see RBP eventually becoming an RBP network. All reference-based pricing is a different way to pay a claim. Right. Instead of taking a discount off a charge, it's just adding a percentage to Medicare.
Right.
But the weird part about surprise billing is, and I don't know if you knew this, they don't take into consideration Medicare rates at all when they try to figure out what the right payment amount is. So Medicare is the biggest payer to every hospital in the country.
Sure.
Yet the amount that Medicare pays to a hospital, when you have an arbitration process, right? You can't come up with a deal, right? The plan and the facility. They don't take Medicare pricing into account when they're trying to figure out a fair and reasonable price at all. It's going to be based on, obviously, what's their average network rate? What do they typically get from a Blue Cross or a Cigna, whatever. So, but I think there are huge opportunities when it comes to surprise billing for the self-funded industry. No different than when Obamacare came out. I mean, Vince, I don't know if you remember when Obamacare came out, How many TPAs thought their lives were over? Like,
Yeah, they
it's
thought
done.
it was a wrap. Yep, I remember.
And I
that.
remember how many TPAs sold out,
Yep.
thinking
There
that
was a lot
that's
of
it.
consolidation. Yep.
And I used to stand in front of audiences and go, dude, this is the best thing that's ever happened to our industry. Because now, for the first time, employers actually have to care about healthcare.
Mhm.
Like, the government's forcing you to. So we're being forced to care about the cost. You can't just not cover people.
Right.
So now there's more opportunity for us. Same here. This is the ability for us to have transparency. But the problem, my friend, and I'm going to ask you a basic question, right? If I came to you and I said, hey, Vince, I got a $50,000 car here and a $100,000 car here. You can pick either car you want. Which one has a better quality?
You would assume based upon the price of the $100,000 car.
And that's
Right.
the problem with transparency in healthcare.
Right.
We both know, most of our listeners, your listeners, hopefully we know, price does not equate to quality in healthcare.
Exactly.
Because a hospital charges $100,000 for this surgery and another one charges 10, it doesn't mean the $101,000 one has better quality.
Right.
And that's the problem. So even though we have all these transparency out there tied to surprise billing, all this stuff is now transparency. You still don't know the quality. Imagine going on Amazon and only being able to see the price of a TV, but not the quality of the TV, the
Yeah.
ratings.
Yeah, it's the
Would it-
only industry I
would it
know of. Yeah, it's the only industry I know of where you can't you're paying for something that you don't know what you're getting what the end product is going to look like.
Right. So at the end of the day, that's the one area that as an industry we need to do a better job on is with surprise billing, with the end of that, with all these transparency rules coming into place where people have to be prices are posted, etc. It could hurt our industry if all people see our prices.
Right.
Because if anything, you're actually getting hospitals to say, I should just charge more. So if I charge more, they'll think we're better.
Right.
And that's what scares me.